Yo, what's up guys? It's good to be back. I haven't done a video in a while and this video is going to be about Donald Trump and Michael Jackson. This is very rare for me because I never knew back then, this was probably over a decade ago, maybe longer. And this is Michael Jackson with Donald Trump. I don't know if he was president at the time, but as you can see here, they are very young. So this is, to me, looking here, this is definitely in the 70s or 80s, easily. So Michael Jackson knew Donald Trump because right now, Donald Trump is now the president of the United States and he has been for a while. Michael Jackson knew every single president up until he died, and that was President Obama. And then later on, after Michael Jackson had passed, Donald Trump wasn't long when he became president. So it wasn't, Michael Jackson just didn't know, President Bush, President whatever the other names are, Obama, but he knew Donald Trump as well because at the time, this is a timeline going back when Michael Jackson's scene was with Donald Trump on a private jet, it looks like here. So this is very rare for me to see, to be talking about, because I never ever thought it would cross my mind that Michael Jackson would be in a picture with Donald Trump. So it is very rare and it is very unique. And, Michael Jackson is a legend and he knew everyone. You know, I mean, seeing him here in a photo on a private jet with Donald Trump, what I want to talk about as well is, Donald Trump and Michael Jackson. Were they both friends? Was Donald Trump friends with Michael Jackson? Was Michael Jackson friends with Donald Trump? Let me know in the comments. But I knew, Donald Trump done a video talking about Michael Jackson. He didn't say anything bad, but he just said Michael Jackson was a good guy. But were they friends? Let me know, guys, okay? Because obviously they are, or they wouldn't be in a picture together, you know. But this is very rare to see, to be me talking about, for me to to me to be watching, because when I watch this video I'm doing now, this is very rare. This is definitely, looking at this, I wouldn't say 70s, but I would say, well, probably 70s or 80s. I don't know, but it's a unique picture to see. It's very rare. It's Donald Trump with Michael Jackson. Donald Trump is now, say this was like 20, 30 years ago, and it's 2019 now, and Donald Trump is the president of the United States. And going back in the timeline, if Michael Jackson never knew Donald Trump, well, he did. He's in the photo right here with him. And that's why it's very rare to see Michael Jackson with the president who is now the president of the United States. It's just, it's unique because the last president, I always thought that Michael Jackson, got to see when Michael Jackson was alive was President Obama. So it wasn't just President Obama, Michael Jackson knew, back then he knew Donald Trump. I don't think Michael Jackson knew that he ever think that Donald Trump would be president, or I don't think Donald Trump knew that Michael Jackson that he would be president or not. I don't think Donald Trump knew it or Michael Jackson knew it, but because Michael Jackson's not here, Donald Trump's the president of the United States. But when we can go back and look at this photo, Michael Jackson already knew him anyway. It's just the Michael Jackson is a legend. He knew everybody. He made all the right connections. He was a huge superstar, a genius. He was just everything, unique, absolutely just the greatest entertainer in the world. And there will never be another Michael Jackson, never, because Michael Jackson, with all this leaving documentary, all this shit being talked about, and people arguing over it and trying to, get justice for Michael because Michael is innocent. I've said this about 1 billion times that Michael Jackson is innocent. The whole thing about leaving Neverland is rubbish, and for anybody out there who believes it is not, why would anybody want to believe something that's completely made up, completely the whole thing is a load of rubbish. There's zero evidence that Michael Jackson didn't do anything. And I'm not going to be talking about that because Michael Jackson, if he's alive or not, and he is out there, Michael Jackson is the time. And I said this in my other last video I've done. Come back and shock the world, Michael. Come back and shock these guys and prove your innocence, and these guys will go down. They'll not know what hit them. Oh my god, it would be so unique to see if that ever did happen. But Michael Jackson, has to do it behind the scenes, to get his family to do it for him, because I don't know if it's true that or illegal or not. Can you fake your death? Yes or no? That's what I want to know. That Robson and Safe Check even do a lie detector test yet. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And it just gets worse as it goes on, because this is going to go on for the rest of Michael Jackson's memory until we get justice, yes, once again, for Michael Jackson, because they need to find out, every little detail they can find about this Leaving documentary. I mean, they even shortened the Leaving documentary because you know why they shortened it? Is because it's a load of rubbish, and they knew they were being caught on, and fans were catching, things out that weren't true, and that's why they've shortened it. The whole thing is absolutely absurd. It is absolutely diabolical. And I cannot be no more clear that anything else I want to say about that Leaving documentary. And Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson deserves to just live in peace and have a peaceful life if he's alive or not. And even if his kids, want to be, with him, they're going to be with him. People are not going to hear from them or the family because they'll be with Michael Jackson, in a, somewhere that no one will ever find, someone who is famous, but it is very clear, and even Donald Trump said it, in the interview that Michael Jackson was a good. I think he spoke good about him. I can't remember, but it's good to be talking about, Michael Jackson and Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's the president of the United States, and looking at this picture, it's just unique. It's very rare, and everything else that's going on, it's just Michael Jackson just deserves to just live in peace. I mean, the guy's a legend. We live on with his music, his legacy. You know, his music will never die. The myth of Michael Jackson, the myth might be gone. You know, but the music will never be gone. The music will never die. The music will always live on, because the music of Michael Jackson, music is a thing that is drilled into your head, and you just love it, and you always have to go put on your headphones and listen to it because it's just absolutely unique. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel that you can do anything. It makes you like you can go to a gym and have a workout, and you're listening to someone's music and you know it's good and it makes you feel good. It's just a powerful thing. Music is a powerful thing. Without music, you couldn't do the things you want to do. It would be impossible unless you can do it without music. But music is the heart that can make you go on even if you don't want to, because it feels absolutely amazing. And I try my best what I say in my videos and what I do and all that there, and I do pretty good, you know. But I had to give it to Donald Trump. A lot of people don't like Donald Trump. I mean, I don't have anything on Donald Trump. I don't see anything, bad about him, even if people think he is, not nice or bad or not. But because Michael Jackson knew him and Donald Trump knew Michael Jackson, well, I have no reasons not to like Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump definitely did say in one of the videos about Michael Jackson that he was a good guy. And I think that was I think it was. I hope that is what he said. Do you know? But this is very unique, very rare, and very just outstanding because I always thought you know Michael Jackson. Yes, he knew everybody around the world. You know, but he knew Donald Trump. I mean, the president of the United States. Michael Jackson's not here, but he already knew him back. In the day. It's just like it's like you think like that. God, how does time go in so quick? You think time will just go on from there, but we move on now. We put the past behind us and we move on to the future. But even though we're moving on with the future, but no matter what, when you go back to something that someone is famous, this is what you're gonna see. It's unique and it's very rare and it's very it's pretty amazing and it's pretty awesome to see, with Michael Jackson, with the president of the United States, who is Donald Trump, who is president right now. So I don't know who the next president will be in another 5 or 10 years or however long it will. But who it will be, I will look up Michael Jackson and that person. And if I see Michael Jackson with another president person who would be in the next 5 or 10 years, Michael Jackson won't only just be forgotten, he will be remembered with, so many people who he knew back in his day, because in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you're going to know people throughout those 40, 50 years. Well, I wouldn't say 40 years, but I'd say 30 years. Because you've got the 60s, which is 10 years, and then going into the 70s is 20 years. The 80s is 30 years, and then the 90s is 40 years. And then into the 2000s, 50 years. So Michael Jackson knew everybody in that timeline, way in the 60s, up until the 70s, and then the 80s and 90s, and then the 2000s. So by the time of the year 2000, Michael Jackson knew everyone. And I mean everyone, because that was Michael Jackson's timeline of his lifetime back in the day. And Michael Jackson knew everybody way up until 2009, until Michael Jackson shocked the world and came to London and made, the announcement for This Is It in London, and tickets sold out so quick. It was incredible, you know. Michael Jackson, the final curtain call. And then later on, we get news that Michael Jackson had passed. But he had left that behind, his music and his legacy. We've seen the This Is It movie. And then from there, we just live on the music and his legacy right now to this day, as I am speaking. Because he is such an amazing man, and it doesn't matter if he didn't do the world tour, 50 shows in London, but at least he got to come back anyway. And that was in London for the announcement, and we all seen him for the last time just up until he passed, you know. So, and then we seen the This Is It movie, and then we had the memories of Michael Jackson at his funeral. That's if he is dead or alive or not. This is just me talking about him, what I think in my own words, as I do in my videos. Because, you know, up until 2009, it's absolutely nothing. Because, yes, Michael Jackson had his time way up until the 2000s and way up until 2009. But who cares, Because that would have been nearly 60 years, or 50 years, whatever it is, because Michael Jackson died at 50. But Michael Jackson had his time in the 60s. Was Michael Jackson? Yeah, Michael Jackson was born in the 50s, so he would only be a kid in the 50s. And then he had the 60s, and then he had the 70s, and then he had the 80s, and then he had the 90s. So there's all those years of Michael Jackson's lifetime. And then after the 90s, even way up until the year 2000, Michael Jackson would have been a legend anyway throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So the year 2000, Michael Jackson, if he had died there and then, it wouldn't have mattered because he was already the king of pop. Like 30, 40 years before in the 70s and 80s and 90s, Think about it. Why would Michael Jackson want to prove the biggest comeback tour in the world in the history for the Guinness World Records? The guy was already a legend. Michael Jackson, the king of pop, was already a legend no matter what way you see or look at it, you know? But if he is alive and he has faked his death and he is here, well, this is his time to do something for the fans. And it will be the time to come back and prove his innocence and just, shock the world and do something there. But I don't think that would ever happen. But that's what I would think and see in my reality if it did happen. It would be absolutely incredible. You guys have no idea when you really think about it and listen to me what I say, because it's true. It's just sorry guys, excuse me. Michael Jackson, like I said, doesn't really have to prove anything because he already is a legend. Yes, Michael Jackson's had his hard days, but he came back, proved his innocence. He came back and done, the This Is It concerts. The tickets sold out so quick, and everybody saw Michael Jackson for the last time. And what more could you want? Michael Jackson was a 50-year-old, and when you watch the This Is It movie, you just see everything you want to see anyway. Even though we didn't see him in the tour in London 50 shows, but we seen in the movie how brilliant and intelligent and how a genius he was performing, dancing, singing. Why would we want to see something we've been looking forward for Michael Jackson said, "See you in July"? Let me tell you this, guys. I'm sure Michael Jackson didn't want to go or fake his death or die or what happened. Because Michael Jackson looked happy and he said he would see you and see us in July and all that there. But, Michael Jackson, when he said, "I love you, I really do, you have to know that," he said that to his fans, in his final appearance for the This Is It, and all his fans got to see him for the last time. All his fans got to hear Michael Jackson saying that Michael Jackson loved them. Michael Jackson loved his fans. And I'm sure when Michael Jackson said that, all the fans just knew that Michael Jackson loved them. And the fans of Michael Jackson loved him. So Michael Jackson is a legend. And no one will ever forget about him. Not me, fans, or anybody out there. Because Michael Jackson is the greatest and genius pop star, superstar that has ever lived. And there will never be another the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Not in our time, not in this time, not in this these years or future or whatever. But if there ever will be, there will never be, this guy. No one can ever replace this guy, even in the next century or not. I just can't see it. I really just can't see it. I really can't. But everything else, everything else, and I've said this, and I'm going to say this for the last time, and that's all I have to say for this video. Everything else about the Leaving documentary and everything else to that, it can all go to hell. Because Michael Jackson is innocent. 13 counts, not guilty. 13 counts. Put it in capital letters and look at it. It is clear that Michael Jackson is innocent. Wake up and smell the coffee, because if people can't, then they must be blind and must have a stiff up black nose, because How can anybody not see that this guy is innocent and is proved as innocent in the 90s, way up until 2005? So how stupid can you get for coming back years later and waiting till Michael Jackson had passed and then doing all this shit because they think Michael Jackson's not here and you can't defend the dead or whatever. But he is here as I believe. But the thing is, these guys could have done this when Michael Jackson was living and was here. And this there wouldn't have been no leaving documentary. There wouldn't have been nothing. They wouldn't even, done this leaving documentary if Michael Jackson was here. They said they would take it to their grave. Aye, yeah, sure, whatever. You know, they could have done it when Michael Jackson was here. You know why they didn't do it? Because they knew they would have been caught out right away that they were lying. Because Michael Jackson would have been here to defend himself, and those guys would have went to jail. Those guys would have been in the shit, and everybody else would have been in the shit for making stuff up about Michael Jackson, especially proved innocent, of 13 counts. It's an absolute joke. It is a joke. The whole thing is an completely joke. You know, it's just look at the facts. The facts don't lie. People do. Michael Jackson in capital letters is innocent. And that's all I had to say for this video. And once again, Michael Jackson knew Donald Trump. He knew Donald Trump, who is now the President of the United States. So even though Michael Jackson has been gone for 10 years, 10 years was President Obama. 10 years later, President is Donald Trump as the president now in 2019. Going back 9 years, 10 years is like 2008 or 2009. So 10 years later, way up until 2019 or 18, Donald Trump is the president. And Michael Jackson's not here to know Donald Trump. But when you go back in the day, Michael Jackson knew Donald Trump anyway. So it's very unique because this is the very last thing I'm going to say. The king of pop, Michael Jackson, is a legend. And that's all I had to say for this video. I'll see you later, guys. Take care. Peace out. Keep believing. Never give up on Michael Jackson. The guy is innocent.